to the Speaker, the Executive Mayor, the Whip of Council, and the Leader of Government Business. We were convened into a special council sitting to debate the motion that speaks to, in the frame, the status of the city of Ekurhuleni in reference to its finances. And there were obviously a lot of inaccuracies and facts that are questionable based on the motion that was raised before council. And we needed to also do those necessary clarifications to council. We have stated numerous times that when we came into government as the People's Government in May earlier this year, was that we were then tabling what we would have called a recovery budget. Understand that the city is under serious financial constraints, and we're navigating through it to ensure that there is a financially healthy environment as the city of Ekurhuleni. And with that being said, you need not to look far than to look at the projections. We felt from our perspective, Mayor, that perhaps this matter of the motion in itself was premature, on the basis that we still have a report to table next week, which is the first quarter report of the financial year, and to debate a motion that is based on what we then identified as factual inaccuracies and outdated and inconsistent with the information that we have, did not really yield that much results. But however, we had to indulge council in terms of the engagement thereof, because we understand that there's a necessity for us to actually discuss and engage on ways how we can enhance the finances of the city. As part of the resolutions, the only resolution that we could actually agree and adopt, which is feasible, which is that would then ensure that there's a financial viability plan that is done through our Office of Finance. That particular plan will then find a reflection into obviously the mayoral committee, and subsequently find its way to council in the next council sitting, and furthermore would then keep council abreast on a quarterly basis in terms of the recommendations that would have then found expression in that particular plan. Want to dispel any notion that speaks of this extremely dysfunctional state financially, with the understanding obviously that we're on a recovery mode, but we have consistently said as the city that we do not owe Eskom. Eskom on the 3rd of October 2023 submitted to us an invoice of 1.5 billion rand. On the 4th of October 2023, they then state in a media statement that we owe them. But of course, the owe is on the basis that this is a current account that they themselves acknowledge that it is due on the 28th of October 2023. So to make an inference as though that we owe them based on overdue accounts, like they bracketed us with the city of Tshwane, is extremely wrong, and it must be called off as that, in terms of the rand water, we do owe them about 600 million, but we have gone into an agreement of 45 days in terms of repayment plan with them, and we are still on the current, even in terms of the 600 million that it will be paid within the stipulated time frame. ERVAT about 127 million, which is not an overdue account in itself. It's a current account. Will never form part of a government as the People's Government that seeks to destabilize our own state-owned entities, particularly when it comes to non-payment. That's why we always try and make sure by all means that we pay them. The only dispute that we have with Eskom currently is what they define as penalties and interest on monies that we have paid as late payments, which we are disputing, by the way, because there's nothing that compels us as the City of Ekurhuleni to make the necessary payments to Eskom within 15 days outside of the period that is allocated by the MFMA, in that we pay within the 30 days bracket. Yes, we do have overdue accounts towards our own credit suppliers, that is, to the tune of 880 million. And 300 million which is current. So the 880 is overdue, it's long overdue. And the reason is that we have just closed off the financial year, and obviously with the closing off of the financial year, accrued payments and the submissions of all invoices that must be submitted by departments, and those are things that we must declare as part of our consolidated reports to Auditor General for verifications. And the trend is always consistent, that we'll see obviously a rise within the first quarter of all of those overdue and such accounts, on the basis that we just come from closing off of the financial year. We are sitting, however, with about 378 million, which gives us about 13 days cash in hand. National Treasury says that it should be 25 days. We're working extremely hard, and we believe that with the plan that can be instituted and thoroughly monitored, will ensure that we actually get to the 25 days. But we have been proactive as the Department of Finance and trying to ensure that we get out of what we would have defined as the rate. Yes, we are much more better than the City of Tshwane and the City of Johannesburg in terms of our financial standing, but we want to be in a greater position, as hence we had introduced